We are live. Hey, everybody. Let's see. It is January 17th. I have a birthday coming up. Just to let everybody know. I knew LeeRoy needs to know. We have been continuing our series of interviews, and you guys will see a video tonight that you've already seen about a week ago it dropped. And so we have LeeRoy here, and we're going to be talking to the creator of LeeRoy as well. But we're going to have some fun, and there's some interesting things that I think happened with the creation and the discovery of LeeRoy, and how things kind of transpired. So LeeRoy, introduce yourself, please.
Is this thing on? Hello, Internet. My name is LeeRoy, and I was hunting for Forrest Fenn's treasure.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I had no idea that you could actually do it real time like this. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, heck yeah. I mean, everybody was saying, oh, LeeRoy needs to come on the internet and say hi. Now, I don't know nothing about no internet. I ain't even got a computer. All I got is this Nintendo that I found down at Goodwill, and they ain't even no Super Nintendo.
LeeRoy, are you disappointed that the treasure chest is gone? Do you have it? Are you from back east?
I mean, well,
Nice.
Or deny.
I don't know if I can answer that question there, K-Pro.
LeeRoy said K-Pro. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's your name then?
No, I was like Giddy. LeeRoy said K-Pro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, your name Giddy? I can say Giddy.
Okay, well, let's introduce our video. So you guys that haven't been around for a long, long time, you may not know who LeeRoy is. Forrest told me this is his favorite Fenn tuber. So, and you'll see during the video, I actually get a Southern drawl going. And I apologize. I was just having some fun. You ready for that, LeeRoy?
Heck yeah. Bring it on.
Everybody knows who LeeRoy is. They remember the videos. You just want me to go right to it, K-Pro?
Yeah.
All right, here we go, everybody.
And so we can stop it when I say stop it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
LeeRoy / Jeremy questions along the way.
So this is the video that dropped on K-Pro's Corner last week. So let's talk about it. Let's do that. There we go.
We don't hear any audio. Mike.
You should be able to hear the audio. Can everybody in the chat hear the audio?
Shoot, I can't even hear myself think.
Let me think. Let's see. Yeah, they should be able to hear it.
Can you guys hear it? No, they say no. No audio, no.
All right, well, then you can read it, K-Pro. No, hang on. Let me see if I can fix it. Give me a second.
See, this is why the internet, that don't work. You got rats chewing up the cords and everything.
I'm telling you, what is going on? They can hear me, right? Testos 1, 2. And they can hear K-Pro.
I ain't never done no live show. This is fun.
It is live, everybody. Let me see here.
Okay, well, as that goes on, as he tries to figure that part out, do you want to switch over and introduce yourself, originator of LeeRoy?
Well, I think I can do that. Hey, everybody.
Jeremy, everybody.
Hi, Jeremy. Now, this is trippy, guys. He's going to talk and he's going to sound exactly like LeeRoy.
I don't think so. So the reason why I've never really done a live broadcast, obviously I have the tools to do live broadcasts.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I could keep that accent up. I'd like to throw out there some, like, let me be clear. I do have like redneck cred. My entire family's from the South. I live in Kentucky. So I don't want you guys, saying like, you shouldn't be like a cultural appropriation or whatever.
Yeah.
I do have some redneck cred. I just don't think I can keep the accent up long enough.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So tell us how this started, and I can actually just go through the slides with questions I have. If you guys have questions from the room, what made you become a Fenn tuber and use LeeRoy, and then we'll get to how
Start on YouTube,
Forrest
yeah.
stalked you down, and we'll get to
Right.
that in a minute. But tell us why it started.
Well, I guess if I go back to the beginning, the first time I went looking for the treasure was in 2015, and it was supposed to be like this big family affair. Like I dragged my my dad out there and my two brothers and stuff, and we had a great time. It was awesome, best time of my life. I've got some photos. Maybe I'll show one or two later.
Nice.
But it was just a really good time. So when I got back, the problem is I don't have a ton of money, so I can't just keep running out there every week like some of the folks have. But I still wanted to kind of participate, so I went on Dale's site and I posted comments. I posted my treasure hunt story, things like that. But then I just kind of like didn't have anything to do because like I'm not out there searching. So round about Christmas time, I ended up just bored and I just wanted to draw something. So I drew this comic book thing where I imagined Forrest Fenn was kind of fighting with Santa Claus because Santa Claus was a searcher too. And he was out looking for the treasure chest and couldn't find it. So he was mad at Forrest. So he was going to get even. So he wrote a poem in which there were 9 clues. And, like basically he challenged Forrest to go find it. So unfortunately, I can't link to that because Dale's site's gone, but it was posted up there. So there actually ended up being 3 installments of that. And let me know if I'm talking too long.
No,
you're
please.
good. You're
This
good.
is awesome.
Like I've had a lot of coffee and a lot of bourbon, so I'll probably. Oh, I'm sorry for the kids. This is apple juice. It's just apple juice.
There you go.
Adult apple juice.
Yeah. So that was in 2015. So I put out the first Christmas comic, I guess it was, and I didn't know what to expect from Forrest. I didn't know if he'd be offended by it or anything like that. So I actually wrote him an email and I'm like, is this okay? Like, can I do this? And he wrote back, and he was not only supportive, he said, like you should make this like a regular thing, right? And I'm like, all right, challenge accepted, right? So I made 2 others and it became like a trilogy. So that was in 2015. I did go back out searching like pretty much every year since then. So I went out there in 2016. I went out there in 2017. By 2018, I wasn't really making any progress. I couldn't justify to the wife to give me the money to go back out there.
Right.
So I basically was like stuck here with like nothing to do, but I still wanted to participate, right? So, I watch you guys all the time. I watch some of the other, I guess you call them Fenn tubers. I never really thought of myself as a Fenn tuber. But I watch you guys all the time. And back in 2018, it was kind of like this format where you guys would get, I mean, it still kind of is, but you guys would get on there, you would get somebody else to come on with you and you guys would just talk for a while. And I'm like, I hate to quote, like borrow from Forrest Fenn here, but I'm like, I can do that. Right. So,
right.
But,
we didn't set the bar very high. You're like, we're good.
Well, I love Toby, but Toby is a little bit dry, and it's just, it wasn't very entertaining. And I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Right. And I'm just going to have some fun with it. So, I went back to the drawing board, so to speak, and I came up with this LeeRoy character. And I'm not even sure what the inspiration was. I watch a lot of cartoons, so it's probably a mix of different things. And so I just kind of made up the character, and I did the first episode, and I just, again, I put it out there. I didn't even tell Forrest that I put this one out there because I didn't want to like. In fact, this is a little bit uncomfortable for me because I didn't want to, peel back the layers and like take the magic away, right? I thought hard about whether or not I want to come on as myself because some people really enjoy LeeRoy, and I didn't want to destroy that for them. But I definitely didn't want Forrest Fenn to know because I said some things in that very first video, and you can probably provide a link to it or something so that people can watch it if they haven't. But I said some things in there. I'm like, should I be saying this? I don't really know, right? Like. I think at one point I said, yeah, Forrest Fenn was a pilot. He went up there and got shot down, and just for good measure, he went right back and got shot down again, right?
Right.
And I didn't know how he would take that, right?
Yeah.
But you know, he loved it. In fact, he loved it so much he reached out to me, and you know,
Now this
I
is
just
an
get with him.
interesting story. So Leroy's up there. You've communicated with Forrest as Jeremy P. Like that's
Right.
how
I've
we
been
know
sending
you
him
on
emails
Dales.
since the beginning. Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
everybody
but
else.
he's like, I don't know who Leroy is. So he contacts someone to track you down. Who did he contact? And tell that story because I thought it was an amazing one.
Right. I don't know if I'm going to do it justice, but I'm sitting there at work one day, and you know, I keep checking the comments and stuff like that because it's fun. You know, it is a lot of fun. Like I guess being a pen tuber, you know, to get feedback from people. So I'm sitting there checking the comments and stuff, and lo and behold, I get this comment from Margie Goldsmith, and I'm like, Margie Goldsmith, right? Margie Goldsmith wants to get a hold of me so that because Forrest Fenn's got an important message for me, right? And just needs my credit card number or something like that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, slight hesitation. Let's see. And you guys, who in the chat remembers the LeeRoy videos? I do. I mean, I think we all remember. We made about 8 of them. I just put the link to the YouTube channel in the chat.
He made 9 of them because I thought that was ironic.
9? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. 9 for the 9 clues. And then Margie Goldsmith saw them. That's funny.
Well, so then in
9.
the comments it says, I'm going to continue on until he gets back on. In the comments it says, will you contact me? And he's like, well, I'll be darned. How did you? And she did. She connected the 2 of them. And then Forrest, let him tell the rest of it. But then Forrest is like, oh, you are LeeRoy. And they started having a discussion.
Figured it out.
Margie Goldsmith isn't happy and froze him off.
That's totally like LeeRoy. He doesn't understand the internets, and he doesn't understand what's going on. It's funny that he can do that in real time. I'll have to ask him, like, how's he doing that? I mean, I could see making a video.
He said he'll show us like how to do it. So then Forrest, this was what I thought was pretty amazing. You guys, some of you, I think missed
saying it wasn't Margie Goldsmith. That's funny. Go ahead.
It was interesting because LeeRoy or Jeremy connected and something like, and I might not get it exactly right. I hope he's watching so he can correct me. Like, what do you want to see? And so Forrest actually had him create Miss Mavens and interview her, which was a doodle in Once Upon a While.
Yeah.
And he wanted specific question or statements integrated. Now, of course, just like Jerry, when I heard this, there's a clue in there or a hint or I think it was pretty lighthearted because it sounds like Forrest was telling him, I sit here with my granddaughter and we watch and we just have so much fun. And like his granddaughter's super smart because she questioned how can you turn the wheel, but the hands didn't move. And it's because it's a cartoon. So it was, but there were one of the 9 interviews that is all like his mother wears tennis shoes. If you drink all the beer, call 911. You see him backstage, babe? There.
You figure that's a LeeRoy thing to just be cut off.
It really is the rats chewing through the wires. I think I put that in one of those episodes. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Have you
we've
been
had
listening?
a lot of weather here, so like there's snow all over the place and stuff. It's messing with the internet.
Yeah. Did you hear it all, or were you just rebooting?
My internet dropped out.
Okay. So basically, I told the story of Margie, and then you and Forrest connected. He was talking with his granddaughter. I actually think great granddaughter Artie, but it could have been because the granddaughter.
You said granddaughter. I saw your comment, so I don't know. His youngest granddaughter is probably in her 50s, maybe. I don't know.
No, youngest daughter is 50s. Youngest granddaughter is about. I think 17, Piper, 18. Let's see, she was 16 when I met her. So she's going to college this year. So 18, 19. And Artie is 4, 5, 6. I just assumed it would have been, I don't know, somewhere around there. But anyway.
I really don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. So, okay. So Forrest now is providing you secret hints.
I mean, you could call it that. I didn't consider it that. I considered it as like, I guess I should back up a little bit and just say that, like, you know, I had a lot of fun making the LeeRoy things, but it did take a little while. And I don't know if I would have like made, like, I only made 9, but I don't think I would have made the 9 that I did if it wasn't for the feedback from the audience who was loving it. And particularly Forrest Fenn himself. You know, if Forrest Fenn wasn't watching it, I probably would have been like, oh, this was a funny joke and I'm done. but because he was replying to emails, I'm like, well, I got to keep doing this because he's enjoying it. And, like ever since the beginning, with sending him that comic, if I can entertain Forrest Fenn, I've done my job. I feel good about that, right? I mean, the guy was in his 80s, and I felt good about entertaining him. So anyway, so he would start sending me some emails, like some of them unprompted, just things for LeeRoy to say, and most of it was that I don't know if he identified with LeeRoy or if he just saw a little bit of redneck in LeeRoy that he could relate to. I don't know what the story is there, but every now and then he would say, hey, you should have LeeRoy say this, or you should, in the case of that Miss Maven character where he was interviewing that, I don't know if you guys got to that part. But
yeah, we did.
Oh, okay. In the case of Miss Maven, he literally gave the words that she should say, and I don't know if he gave the exact words that he had given, but they were pretty weird, right? Like they were hard to put into that thing. But I kind of found a way, and it worked out, I think. But yeah, I mean, just off the wall stuff. Like now, I'm aware that sometimes he says things that may have meaning for searchers.
Right.
If that was in any of these, I'm not aware of it. Of course, none of it had any meaning to me. It didn't make any sense to me. But if you got something out of it, yeah, that's great.
Well, of course, when he said nine, I'm going to call 911. It's between 9 Mile and 11 Mile hole, and I mean, you can make anything.
There's so many things.
Yeah.
Did LeeRoy ever say how deep is a hole?
No, he didn't.
He never said it. Okay.
Yeah, I think I put that in one of my episodes, like that. I think I said that Forrest Fenn lowered into a hole and that he had fallen into the hole, so he's actually been closer than Forrest Fenn has been. So, yeah,
that's interesting about 9/11. I never put that together, K-Pro.
Oh my gosh, I was driving with Cynthia, and we were talking about all the quotes, and of course, every single one fits in every single person solved all across the world. I mean, that's just now that some of us feel that we know where it was. It's like, oh, it fits in this, and oh, it fits in that. So,
well, it may have fit in everybody's but mine because it didn't fit into mine at all. It didn't make any sense.
He was giving you a hint to change locations.
Yeah.
Someone asked from the chat, LeeRoy, who was Miss Maven's voice?
That was my wife. Yeah, that was.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife's name is Tracy. I had to talk her into it. She wasn't comfortable doing it, but eventually she gave in. And it's kind of a neat process. So the two audios are recorded separately. So like she's in there with her phone, like speaking the lines I told her to speak, and then I'm saying mine directly into the computer, and then later I have to like splice them together. But yeah, that's her.
Nice.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So then I can tell you, Forrest told me, I know it's shocking to hear, and it'll be surprising to you and everyone in our audience. At that time, as well as all times in the Fenn tubing universe, there was always these serious battles of negativity and drama.
Right.
And he's like, this is why LeeRoy is my favorite tuber. You guys should all get away from the drama. And he didn't just send it to me. He sent it to several of the tubers that were getting a little too serious. And it was all about like, I know, guys, this is shocking. I know. And so that's why LeeRoy was fun. And actually, LeeRoy got into a little drama. Do you remember when LeeRoy got...
Not by choice. So
that's so true.
Not by choice.
Well, at some point, like I'm sitting here making the character just because I'm having fun, and I'm particularly doing it because Forrest Fenn's having fun. And then at some point, other people wanted to like get involved, and I'm like, all right, cool. If they're gonna have some fun with it, let's have some fun with it. I know that you wanted to make a banner and take it to
we did,
to Jay Diggins raffle.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, go for it. That's awesome, right? And then Sasha, for some reason, kidnapped that banner or something like that. So
blue corn. Yep, that's right.
So she started.
But it was funny at the Jamie Jordan drawing. Some people might not know. This will be a story for another day. Forrest was pretty demanding. It's not the right word. Particular about where everybody sat. He was a lot more into the details than I ever thought. And he's like, LeeRoy is going to be near me. And I'm like,
awesome.
Really? Like we're getting down to the banner and he's like, yes, he needs to be right behind me. So if there's pictures, his grandkids would see it later. And I'm like, so LeeRoy was specifically placed back behind Forrest per his request in this where everybody was sitting, which I thought was a total crack up.
Yeah, he did ask me if I was going to go, and I was working at the time and I couldn't make it. But I sent. I replied to his email and I said, well, I can drive out there, but I don't know if my truck's going to make it. And if I break down, would you come and pick me up and take me the rest of the way? And I don't know if he got the joke, but he said he would throw a bus ticket in the raffle for me. I don't know what that means.
And then when was your last video? Why did you stop? Because you stopped before the treasure was found. Why did you stop?
I just got busy with work. So
okay.
One of the drawbacks, so like I had an original concept for the show and it just didn't work out that way. So the original concept for the show was it was going to be very, very simple to make, right? So like I can crank one out once a week, very low production, didn't have to do a lot of work. I think my original concept, okay, so to take it back, the third comic in that Santa versus Finn drama was that Santa Claus had hidden the treasure chest, or hidden Forrest present. That's right, Forrest present from Santa Claus. Santa Claus hid just to mess with him. So he had hidden it and left him clues to find it. And I was like, oh crap, I got to put this into a comic, right? So like I actually came up with a way to make the 9 clues fit to like this Santa's workshop in like Colorado. And I'm like, wow, man, these 9 clues actually fit Santa's workshop in Colorado. It wasn't even hard. Like, like it was really easy. And I think like throughout the entire chase, you know, I would go in and just randomly post comments on Dal's site, just saying, yeah, you just this and this and this. Of course, the clues line up to this random place, right? So that was the original concept for LeeRoy. I was going to have him travel around and just go to random places and talk about, you know, why he's there and so on, right? That was the original concept. It was going to be very easy. You just stand in front of whatever, like, you know, Cody, Wyoming or something, and you're just standing in front of the street sign and that's it. But like, you know, as soon as I put out the first one, people are like, you should probably put something newer. And like, it just like the production value just kept going up, right? I mean, I ended up putting them in
you
a car.
Raised the bar to all.
Yeah. So like, and that was my undoing. So every time I ended up raising the bar and I had to create more assets. So like a lot of people don't realize what's involved in creating these animations and, you know, feel free to cut me off if I'd love this stuff, so I'll just drone on forever. But
I'd love to see if you want to do a screen share and show us, because
I can do that.
It's magic to me.
So,
and so it's fascinating.
For a profession? I mean, you obviously had knowledge of it before LeeRoy, right?
Right. Well, I'm a software developer, and you know, graphics and stuff like that is kind of like where, you know, I've always drawn ever since I was young, and you know, like I make web graphics and things like that for software. So this is my first time animating a character, but also I wanted to animate a character. So this is why I sat down and I used LeeRoy as like a learning lesson for myself.
Is LeeRoy drawn by, that's your character that you drew, or is that like stock photo from somewhere?
No, I drew him. Like I was looking around. I actually still have the sketchbook where I sketched him out, because like, you know, you start with a sketch and then, you know, you scan it and you put in Adobe Illustrator. And then you recreate them as like, sorry for being nerdy, but vector artwork.
Right.
And then
of course, vector of course comes.
Yeah, next. vector artwork. Everybody.
Vector artwork. Yes.
Yeah, vector. Yeah. So I did all of that, and then every time I did something new for the show, I had to draw something new, right? So when I got to the one where he's driving in a truck, I mean, there's so much going on there. So you've got LeeRoy, right? Let's see if I can do this on camera. All right. So you got LeeRoy. Okay, and then you gotta, there you go, and then you gotta draw the seat behind him. Okay, and then in front of him you've got to draw the windshield, and then behind
like
all
layers.
Of that, like 4 different layers going on. I'm like, man, this sucks, right?
It's getting involved,
right. So where I originally thought, well, I could crank these out in a week and have them out by Saturday, so that Forrest could have his Saturday morning cartoons. You know, like it was just dragging out and cutting into like work time and stuff. So that's why there's gaps in like them being produced, because like I originally thought I'd do one per week, and then, you know, it just got out of hand. And then of course, when the treasure was found, I had to throw in one more just so that I can get that magic 9 number.
Right.
I didn't say.
Well, he was just saying 9. There was 8 videos. I'm like, no, there was 9. Because I remember once I saw that there was 9, it was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. I didn't set out to do that, even though I should claim that I did, because that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, and LeeRoy, that poster after it was stolen by Sasha, when Copper Dan came. I think it's at Copper Dan's place now because there was
had
a
it.
lovers.
Yeah.
I started dating Mike. So then me and LeeRoy, who are boyfriend girlfriend, broke up and had to go to a
That's
crazy
right.
bachelor
Congratulations,
pad.
by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think
Thank
I've
you.
talked to you guys since you guys got together. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a while. So
Yeah.
that was fun. So now LeeRoy does hang out with Copper Dan and gets wild and crazy in the Copper Factory shop.
Copper
So-
Dan's boyfriend, though.
Yeah, keep shipping them around. I mean, that's what he wanted to do. Is he wanted to
Right.
travel. He wanted to go looking for the treasure chest.
I thought he was going to make it to the World Series of Fenn, but I'll have to talk to Dan about that one. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's going to happen though.
Cool.
Copper Dan.
So is there any chance that LeeRoy might weigh in on some of these other treasure hunts going on? Or
I mean,
is
I
LeeRoy kind of done?
I mean, I can bring him back on. He's a little shy. Let me say. I'm just kidding. He's not.
Oh, no,
shy.
I meant in the future.
No,
like,
are
make
you
it-
good?
no.
Are you working
Yeah,
on
yeah,
any
yeah.
hunts now? Or are you like it was Forrest Fenn one and done? Or
And that was it.
Oh, well, I'm kind of, as myself, like still interested in treasure hunts. Like I'm not, well, I'm kind of a little bit working on that crack puzzle. I sent you guys an email about that, but that one's hard. That one's
It's
really
hard.
hard.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
hard.
And then, fun fact, like the year 2020, the one where everything went to crap, like I literally on New Year's Eve was in Louisville, Kentucky, digging for that tribute cache.
Right.
Yeah, I was out there in Louisville trying to dig that up in the middle of the night on New Year's Eve because I figured nobody'd be around at that time. So yeah, I still get out there.
So after you got arrested, no, I'm just
I didn't get arrested. No, I don't know how. It's not like I wasn't trying.
Yeah, Copper Dan's here. He says LeeRoy is safe. I think
Yeah.
LeeRoy could weigh in on 9 Mile Hole, or LeeRoy could weigh in on DB Cooper,
Yeah.
which would be interesting.
now. Are
The
you
whole-
watching all the happenings of the chase right now?
I kind of tuned out after it was found because, like,
Yeah.
like I really don't know why you guys are still here looking for it. But
Well, where it was found is really the point now, and the chest. If the chest goes up for sale, we'd like to know if somebody actually, buys
yeah,
it.
I get it. I get it. I just don't know why. What's the point?
Okay,
like,
so if you've offended the entire room, that's
Yeah.
Ah,
it'll be okay. I'm sure they'll be okay.
we'll be
Oh.
fine because there's more of us than you right now. So you know what though, Mike says the exact same thing. Mike says when it
Sometimes,
comes
yeah.
out, we'll cover it. But like, yes, I just went to Santa Fe this weekend, and I think
there it is, everybody.
no, don't hit that
I
button.
thought that was a secret. I guess not anymore.
Why don't you put something on Facebook?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So, do you know that there's some that believe that 9 Mile Hole is the location of where the
I did
treasure
see
chest
that.
is?
So yeah,
Okay.
like I do touch base every now and then. Like I
Okay.
go and I usually go on Reddit just because like
Yeah,
there's
okay.
still
Of
people
course, all
posting
the
there.
smart people are
Good
on
old Reddit.
Good old
You
Reddit.
guys post your stuff on. I don't watch
link.
like I don't watch a lot of the YouTube videos
Mhm.
or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm aware that supposedly it was found in Wyoming. I'm aware that
Supposedly.
We
supposedly
agreed.
this guy named Jack found it. Whoever,
Right.
Yeah, I'm only kidding when I say, like I don't see the point in it. But for me, I spent a lot of time on the treasure hunt, so like I need to get back to real life, unfortunately.
Where was your search state?
It was New Mexico. Yeah, that
Okay,
probably
well,
has a
that's
lot
why
to
you're
do
questioning
with.
Wyoming.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Everybody
Did you ever
searching in
meet
Wyoming
Forrest?
still has a chance, I guess. So, like, yeah, those
Okay.
of us searching in New Mexico, and I was only searching in New Mexico. I didn't hop around like other people. So, like, yeah, so it kind of went like, oh, the treasure's found. Oh, there's a picture. Oh, well, hey, that might be pinyon trees. I still have a chance. Oh no, those are lodgepole pines. I'm sorry.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Forrest in person?
No, unfortunately, it didn't.
Okay.
I did have a couple of opportunities. One was I could have gone to Jay Diggins' raffle if I wanted to.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I just work, and there was a couple of times when I snuck out there during Finbury just because I knew all the other searchers would be over at Finbury, and I would be like, because like I was searching in Cimarron Canyon, and it's a pretty popular spot. Every time I
Right.
went out there, I would run into somebody. Like you guys know. I don't know if she'd want me to say her full name. Sandra. Yeah. So I don't know if she told you the story, but I met her because she stole my campsite. Like I went out there. Yeah, Ask her about it sometime.
Okay.
And offline, I'll give you her last name just to make sure you're talking to the right person. But I know that you guys have like talked to each other. But yeah, so
Right.
I go out there, I pay for the campsite, I get all set up, or I didn't get all set up. I had to go out and buy some food. By the time I come back, she's setting up camp in my campspot. I'm like, what the heck?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Wow.
So we spent like the entire night out by a campfire talking. It was the best of
Nice.
times. I loved running into other people
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
got out to where I was actually looking, and then I didn't want to run into anybody.
Well, so if shortly the treasure chest is sold piecemeal at auction, will you buy an item or try to buy an item, or you just it seems a little bit you're past it, you're still checking in, it was cool at the time, or
Yeah.
or are you gonna like LeeRoy's gonna sell the trailer and he's gonna be like bidding on a coin?
Now, both LeeRoy and I were in it for the thrill of the chase. We were out
Okay.
there looking for it, trying to solve the puzzle. The treasure chest was a byproduct of that. Like, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have the money, but I wasn't. So, like, my grand plan, I wasn't even going to sell it right away. And in fact, if Jack is watching, like, what a wasted opportunity to leave it in some lawyer's vault in Santa Fe. I would have tried to work out with Forrest to get somebody to display it at a gallery so that everybody can go and look at it and make their peace with it. The fact that it's stuffed away in some vault, I feel like that's what a wasted opportunity.
You wouldn't have moved to Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico.
Copper Dan says, Jeremy, I'm thinking you should make a Trolls Cash cartoon. You're going to get requests now. I hope you know that. So,
that's fine.
Thanks for the super chat, Dan.
Know what your hourly rate is. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. So let's see the magic. The magic.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
how do you do it real time? That's what I'm interested in.
I can do it real time. Is there any way where I can get the entire screen, or do I still have to share?
Yeah, if you share your screen, I'll be able to do that, I believe.
Okay, so I wouldn't be sharing my screen, I would just be sharing my webcam. Can I do that?
Oh God, try it. Let me see. Oh yeah, we might be able to remove me and K-Pro. Maybe we can do that. Boop.
Okay, hopefully
Try
temporarily.
that. And then I'll come back in.
All right, so basically this is where the magic happens. Can you see my screen? I'm probably not in the center. There's probably some stuff cropped off.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So, cool. All right. So this is where the magic happens. This is a little product in the Adobe Creative Suite. I assume you guys use Adobe at some point, right?
I've used it limited. Yeah, PDFs a little bit. Yes, but
okay. So this is one of the things that you would get if you subscribe to Adobe Creative Cloud. So you can kind of see me up in the corner. It's kind of hard to see me. I'm like really small. But what's going on here, like you might see these like little red lines across my face. That's because it's tracking like my facial movements. It's really, really cool tech, right? So it's actually tracking my eyes, it's tracking my eyebrows, it's tracking my mouth. And every time I move my mouth and every time I say something, it's automatically synchronized to LeeRoy. Does that make sense?
That is awesome. I didn't know it could do that in real time. That is really cool.
It's doing like this neat real-time face tracking. Now, I never really used it that way when I was making my videos. I would always pre-record something, and I always kind of wanted to do the live stream, but I had this issue with his eyes where they would kind of roll up in the back of his head. I fixed that now, so like I can turn his eyeballs left and right and stuff, but they were kind of rolling up in the back of his eye. And, some people thought LeeRoy was a stoner, so it wasn't too bad, but I didn't want him like, doing that all the time. Plus, again, the accent, I didn't know if I could keep that up. So showing off the screen here. So you've got all these things on the right side. You probably can't see my mouse, but I'm pointing to where there's like these little red dots. And these little red dots tell the program what it wants to track. So I can have it track my eye gaze. So like if I look left and I look right, it would move LeeRoy's eyes left and right. And then, this next one is the face. I can have it track the face. And then this little one down here is probably the one you're most interested in. This is the lip sync. So if I turn it off, I can continue talking. He's going to stop talking because it's no longer tracking the lips, the lip sync. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that is really, really neat. That's cool stuff. Yeah.
I'm sitting back here. You guys can hear me. I'm like, that's cool. That's awesome. That was awesome.
Well, it gets even better, right? So like, there's only so many different face shapes. yeah, there's only so many different face shapes that your mouth makes when you talk, right? So you have to individually draw each of those, and I don't know if I can show that. So these are like all of his different mouths and stuff, and there's a bunch of different ones, and I had to hand draw all those, so it takes a little while setting up. They're called puppets, so it takes a little while setting up the puppet, but once you're done, like it just automatically syncs. And then what's really cool is how you bring them to life, right? So like you can actually program keyboard shortcuts where he ends up, doing different gestures. Let's see, I can have him hold a beer, I can have him like, hold a sandwich. These are all things I hand drawed. Now I'm starting to sound like Leroy for real. I done hand drew these. For different skits that I was doing. So yeah, that's how it happens.
That's awesome. That's so fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So you have to be both the artist and the graphic artist, like illustrator person. It seems like the illustrator is pretty user friendly, but still you kind of have to have both, and that's awesome. That's super cool.
It takes a little bit of technical skill, but not so much. But you do have to draw the characters, and you have to ultimately you have to perform them, right? So you have to actually go off and click those little click those little keyboard shortcuts and stuff while you're doing these broadcasts, and it's fun. I enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this was so. Any last secrets about LeeRoy and kind of your experience with him? It seemed like it's all positive. It was awesome for Forrest. I know the community loved him. We were all like at each other, and then LeeRoy would come on, and we'd all laugh and like reset every time, all 9 times.
Yeah, it was tremendously it was a really good positive experience for me. I think it was a positive experience for Forrest. Again, he really enjoyed it. And the reason why I think he enjoyed it is because it's a little bit of satire where, LeeRoy's not poking fun at anybody individually, but he's kind of poking fun at all of us. Like, I was thinking before coming on here, like everybody's got their own take on LeeRoy. Like everybody really enjoyed LeeRoy, and I really appreciate that kind of feedback that I got, because it makes me feel good. So thank you very much. But everybody experienced LeeRoy in different ways, right? So like I was trying to pin down for myself what LeeRoy was, and I started thinking about it, and I didn't do this on purpose, but really this is kind of how LeeRoy started. It's like you start with a normal guy, right, who just happens to be down on his luck, and then you kind of like strip away any sort of like self-doubt or lack of confidence, and you like overinflate his limited abilities, and that's LeeRoy, right? So how is that not every one of us searchers?
Right.
And he came about in a time where everybody was coming on trying to be the smartest guy in the room. Like literally everybody was competing.
Rooster thing,
everybody was competing to be the smartest guy. So here's this guy who pretends to be the smartest guy, but you can watch him and realize he's not that smart. and it was a lot of fun, and I think that's what Forrest got out of it. So yeah, it was a really positive experience for me. I really enjoyed it a lot.
We did have several questions several times. So yes, I will ask the question of, do you do for hire work if somebody wanted something created?
Side project.
You moonlight
like I'll drop my email, like you guys can sit and put my email in the box or something. Feel free to reach out to me. I mean, like I've got limited time, but if it's a fun project, sure, why not? Like I'm not actively out there trying to create puppets for people, but why not?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the email I sent the link to is okay to share?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Please.
And I got an email from Susie Fenhaven. Check it out. She had some LeeRoy inspired art. I think she took the Fenbury. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I wish there was more of that. Like
totally not LeeRoy.
Yeah, right. I did zero promotion for LeeRoy, and if I had a regret, I would probably like consider that one. I wish I had like really played him up a lot more so that more people were able to enjoy him, because I love things like that. That's great.
I like the girl on the mud flap. That's pretty cool. Good job, Susie.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I think you were right. Everybody because we were supposed to be a redneck with 12 kids to go pick up the treasure. So now we're all talking to LeeRoy about the treasure. And so he became our friend, our boyfriend, our aspiration, or whatever it was. And then the mystery of you, because you never came out officially as Leroy. You just came out as Leroy, right?
Yeah, there was like, you guys knew because I asked you if I could post as Leroy on your forums, and I didn't, and I think I did the same with Dal, but I didn't really post on Dal's site, or Dale, or I still don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah, I don't think I posted as Leroy too much on there, but every time I created a show, I thought I'd post it on the Hint of Riches, on the Thor site. But yeah, so like, you guys knew, and then I think, so I have done some other broadcasts. Like I went on Sean Dodson's show twice talking about illustrations. Over the years, I kind of became an expert on the illustrations in the book, so people would ask me questions about it. So he had me on his show twice to talk about the illustrations, and somebody had watched that, and it's really funny because somebody had watched that and said, "Oh, you know what? That guy sounds like Leroy," right? or vice versa. I don't remember which one came first, but somebody had connected my voice to Leroy. And then the funny thing is, when you posted the promo for this video, for some reason I sound like Cynthia. So like somehow I'm Cynthia.
Yeah, I don't know why that
Conspiracy
is.
theories. So the good thing is you don't know this because you've gone to the sane side of the world, which is leave the Fenn universe. We have a conspiracy theory for everything. So everybody right now is in every conspiracy land. So yes, it was Cynthia, and you Leroy actually has the treasure chest, and you know, it's just
none of that is new. Like I don't know when you guys got involved with the chase, but I guess I'm a chase veteran, having been involved since 2015. It has always been this way, right? Yeah. So like you have like I just finished season 2 of Tiger King, and I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my God, this is a Finn universe, right? Like the amount of crazy out there, and it's good and bad, right? So you've got the crazy.
No, it's kind of bad and worse now. I mean, this was before the treasure chest. It was all of us, and now we're all hanging on to this crappy ending. This Jack guy.
Is it a crappy ending though, or is it just the way it should have been? Because you're gonna think about it.
You haven't been here for a year and a half, Jeremy. Right. We need some answer. We would like some answers.
Sure, but I was thinking about this, right? So like I think about things. I'm Leroy. Leroy thinks about things.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I was thinking about it, and it's not like I preferred it being found in Wyoming. It's not like I preferred it being found by Jack, whatever his last name is. Who cares, right? Who's that guy? Right. It's not like I preferred any of this to go down the way it did. I would have liked to have found it myself, and I would have liked to find it at my spot, and same with everybody else. But when it's all said and done, in my opinion, I know people beat me up for this, but in my opinion, it was always Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. There was nothing stopping him from moving it at any time or pulling it from the field or just saying like, look, I made it up. It's a hoax. Go away. He could have done any of that at any time. So at the end of all of this, he was still alive for enough time to have endorsed this outcome. He gave the stamp of approval. He said that it was found in Wyoming. He said it was found by this guy. And, like in the end, this is the officially Forrest Fenn endorsed ending that we got. Now, are there some questions? Yeah, absolutely. Like it wasn't found in Wyoming; it was found in my spot in New Mexico. There's plenty of reason to debate, but I would argue, I'm all about this treasure hunt stuff. It is so awesome, right? So, like,
it is fun,
yeah. So, in the end, the conspiracies are so awesome too.
Those are shows we've done: the debate and the conspiracy theory bridge.
Yeah. Of course it would have ended this way. Of course there would have been some lingering doubt. Of course there would be 10, 20 years down the road, people would still be wondering what really happened, There'll be documentaries 20 years in the future about this whole Forrest Fenn nonsense. And, of course, that's the way it was always going to end. Unless I had found it, in which case you could go and visit at some gallery in Santa Fe and made your peace with it. But
it was found in Wyoming, but was it hidden in Wyoming, Mike N asked? And that's the conspiracy theory part. Some people have never accepted it was in Wyoming. Yeah. And that's okay. I guess they don't have to. That's okay.
Yeah, I honestly, when you add up how many things you actually ever knew in the treasure hunt, it was very, very little. Like, it's all about trust. You trust the stories you hear from Forrest Fenn himself, from other searchers. This is no different than any of that. People can believe whatever they want to and feel fully justified in doing that. Like literally, you can believe whatever you want You can believe it was at your stupid location in Texas.
You can believe it's still out there.
Yeah, you can believe it was still out there. You can believe it was never out there because you have
Right.
exactly the same amount of evidence as anybody else. I would argue that Jack himself doesn't know if it was always at that location that he found it in. You know, he finds his treasure chest out there. He picks it to Forrest. He still only knows the story Forrest told him. And, you know, unfortunately, Forrest passed away and took the ultimate answer with him.
Right.
So.
It's true. That's why it's a bad ending, really, because Forrest passed.
And that's
why it's an awesome ending. I totally disagree. This is the way it should have ended. It's great.
That's an interesting thought, actually, that this is how it should have ended. Like,
absolutely,
this is always going to end.
I always said this, like, these things that I posted on Dowside, I wish it was around. I was the biggest cheerleader for the chase. This is the Great American Treasure Hunt, and it's every bit what that sounds like. I mean, it's got P.T. Barnum wrapped up in it. It's got the American West wrapped up in it. It's got, for my part, it's got the Great American Road Trip wrapped up in it. It was so much fun and so much a part of the American story that you know there was no way it was gonna end in any other way, and that's a good thing. I would argue that all day.
There's no way it could have ended where everybody was going to be satisfied. There's no way. So it ended the way it did.
Right.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is that everybody should be satisfied because you're all nuts. You're all
I know
nuts.
what you're saying.
You guys are all crazy people. Okay.
That's
You are
rational
crazy
thinking, though.
Yeah. Every one of you guys. All right. Everyone, myself included. Okay. Every one of us literally took some old guy's word for it that there's this treasure chest out there, and we moved heaven and earth trying to find it.
Right.
But it was always just a bet. Like, I talk to people all the time back then and now and stuff. They're like, I'm not a gambling person. I'm like, you're in a treasure hunt.
Right.
You are absolutely a gambling person.
Mm-hmm. You're taking a chance on the thrill of the chase. That's for sure.
Yeah. And if anybody's looking at it as anything other than this awesome adventure that we all went on together, you're looking at it in the wrong way. Try, re-examine it and think back and to see how much fun it was. And I'm not speaking for Forrest there. That's my actual opinion. And I would say that I do think that he thought that way as well. Like, I think he threw it in one of the comments. Like, again, I don't know what he was talking. Like, he said some things. I have no idea what he was talking about. But one of the things he said was 95% of the people are put here to entertain the other 5%. If this is not entertainment, then I don't know what is. If you were not entertained in this treasure hunt, you did it wrong. Go back and do it again.
I would agree with that. Yeah, for sure. It's what we made of it. Yeah, what we made.
And I think the ending, I don't think it deserved the ending, but we deserve to look into it. So speaking of that, for next week, guys, I'm hoping to get a video done. Literally, a lot of traveling going on. And yes, I did make it to Santa Fe and met up with some nice people in Santa Fe, like we always do, because Santa Fe is such a nice place to go. And so, but really the part 2 of the video on just my perspective of what the end of the chase was is going to be on K-Pro's Corner. I hope by the end of the week, it's going to take a little bit longer because I am working and traveling. Just like Jeremy said, life gets in the way, kids and work and all of that. So just know that I will try to get it up there as soon as possible. Most of this, I just wanted to break it up. It was a 17-minute video. I'm going to try to keep this one under 20. The information has been there for a bit, just trying to get it all kind of in. But Jeremy, I don't know if you know, but I strongly believe, and we've laid out a lot of concrete information, that Jack actually discovered the treasure chest in 2019.
I did see that video. Yeah,
yeah, he
you
left
make a good
it
argument for it.
Can you imagine that though? You find it and you leave it.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah, so there'll be some more things to be said and talked about that, and then the next show will be next week, and we will talk about anything related to the treasure chest. Is it being sold? Is it not? Some of that I haven't decided. All I'll throw in this next one because it's kind of backlogged, and then we'll come and talk about it here next week. But this was so much fun and so unexpected. I messaged a few people I haven't talked to in years and just said, hey, what are your thoughts right now? And you were just like, we went back. I've heard from a couple of people. I was like, what a cool story. You got to come tell it. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for revealing yourself. Once I saw it on Reddit, I'm like, I knew he was a Redditor. I knew it. Super smart. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was absolutely my pleasure. I thank you guys for bringing me on. And like I mentioned in the email that when you brought up the question, like, what do I think? I'm like, I haven't thought about it in years, and there's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and I'm glad I participated in both the treasure hunt and this video. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for LeeRoy. It was a lot of fun, and I hope he comes back in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's not about the thrill of the chase, maybe you could transition over to something else. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. K-Pro, anything else?
No, everybody's messaging me. Don't do that. I'm on the. Oh, there's LeeRoy.
There he is.
Yeah, maybe I never left. I don't know what you're thinking.
That's right. I think LeeRoy's still out there looking for it. I don't think he believes it's been found.
It was always in my backyard. I don't know why you guys looking out in the Rocky Mountains for a treasure that ain't there. I always had it. It's always been in my backyard. I said that in that first episode. I don't know what the problem is.
Looks like Theo Von. Anybody know the comedian Theo Von? That's what it reminds me of. And I've been sworn to secrecy on K-Pro's Santa Fe trip, so I can't see anything. And I'll just leave that there.
Okay. And so we'll see you next week on Thursday.
But you should go subscribe to K-Pro's Corner. I put the link in the chat because she's going to drop the video, and you guys make your own decision. So, okay. There it is, everybody. Any final words, LeeRoy?
Yeah, I'm still looking for my remote. If anybody's seen my remote, you guys spend all this time still looking for a treasure. Anybody ever think about my remote? You can leave a comment in the box down below. Tell me where my remote is. That's what I want to know. What
would be funny is if LeeRoy tried to go to World Series of Fenn. Just to watch a video on his trip to Vegas would be pretty funny. But anyway.
That would be great. I really can't keep that accent up too long. I just wanted to I wanted to add real quick, like, if anybody has any questions, I really didn't think of everything that you guys might want to know. Feel free to comment down below. I'll keep checking it, both as LeeRoy and as Jeremy, and I'll reply.
There you go. Right. And I did share your remote. I didn't find your remote. I shared Jeremy's email a little while ago. So yeah, if you want to contact him for whatever you might want to let him know, give him a thank you. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk to many, many thousands of searchers that are going to email you. But thanks a lot. LeeRoy was a lot of fun and definitely a part of the chase.
We all miss Forrest Fenn.
Yeah, we do. That's for sure. Okay, I guess we'll wrap it up. Okay, bro, we good?
Yes, we're good. Have a good night, guys.
Everybody stay safe, and we'll see you Thursday night. Treasure Hunting Amusement Park Thursday night. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for coming on.